I think that they are absolutely entitled to that opinion, and it makes perfect sense as to why they would feel that way. I mean, look, we live in a culture where, unfortunately, too many things are glorified. And, we are fighting for attention. We're in an attention economy, and we're in a clickbait world, and everybody is trying to, figure out how to gather attention, look at the news cycle. It's everywhere around us. And so it makes perfect sense that people would feel that way. Also, if anybody has had that real life experience, I can imagine how hard it would be to imagine their experience being in a romance novel.
Hey guys, you won't believe what's just dropped. Hollywood's most shocking drama is heating up, and this time it's coming from none other than Justin Baldoni. That's right, the actor, director, and producer has just launched a brand new website packed with shocking proof that could completely change the narrative on his feud with Blake Lively. So what's the deal? In case you've been living under a rock, there's been an ongoing legal battle between Baldoni and Lively over her allegations of harassment and defamation during the making of It Ends With Us. Well, Baldoni just threw down the gauntlet and dropped a bombshell of evidence that could turn everything you thought you knew about the situation upside down. And you're not gonna want to miss this, because what's on that website is beyond explosive. Text messages, behind-the-scenes documents, and even a full-blown timeline of events. All of it paints a very different picture than the one Blake Lively has been presenting. But that's not all. We're going to dive into the details of the website, the insane legal drama, and the bombshell revelations that could shake Hollywood to its core. Trust me, this is a story you won't want to miss. The website drops, evidence revealed. So here's the big news. Justin Baldoni has launched a website called lawu.info.com. And let me tell you, it's a game changer. On this site, Baldoni has made public an extensive collection of documents and texts that challenge Blake Lively's allegations of harassment and defamation. Yes, you heard that right. The website isn't just some generic page with vague claims. No, this is a full-on investigation complete with behind-the-scenes documents, text message exchanges, and a detailed timeline that Baldoni says exposes a major conspiracy against him. Now, this isn't just about some petty back and forth. Baldoni's team claims that the evidence proves that Blake Lively, along with Ryan Reynolds and, yes, even the New York Times, orchestrated a smear campaign designed to damage Baldoni's reputation and paint him as the villain in the It Ends With Us controversy. And let me tell you, the evidence is eye-opening. For instance, there are these private text messages between Lively and her team that could change the whole narrative. According to Baldoni, these texts show the planning behind the scenes, text exchanges that allegedly prove Lively and her camp were actively trying to discredit him. It doesn't end there. The documents on the website even include behind-the-scenes production memos and a full timeline of events, from script changes to test audiences. It's almost like Baldoni is pulling back the curtain on the entire movie-making process, and the story he's telling is very different from the one Lively's been pushing. So what exactly is Baldoni claiming with all this evidence? According to him, Lively and her team used their influence to manipulate the movie's production and narrative to benefit her brand. It's like a real-life Hollywood thriller with a twist of defamation and corporate power moves thrown in for good measure. And based on what's on this site, it looks like Baldoni is making a strong case. Okay, now this is where things get even crazier. According to Baldoni, there's something fishy going on with the New York Times article that kicked off this whole debacle. As we all know, the New York Times published an explosive article back in December 2024 about the whole It Ends With Us drama, which Lively used to back up her defamation claims against Baldoni. But here's the kicker. Baldoni's team did some digging into the metadata of that article, and what did they find? Well, it turns out that the article wasn't written or even in the final stages of development, just days before it was published in December. Oh no, the article's metadata suggests that this piece was already in the works even as early as October 31st, 2024, long before Lively even filed her lawsuit. Now, why is that important? Baldoni claims that this proves premeditation. If the article was being worked on months before Lively's lawsuit, then it suggests that Lively and the New York Times may have been plotting this whole thing out before the public even knew about it. Think about it. The fact that a major publication like the New York Times had already prepared an article about Baldoni before the lawsuit was even filed raises huge questions. Was this part of a bigger plan? Did Lively know exactly what she was doing when she went after Baldoni? This evidence certainly paints a picture of something much more calculated than we've been led to believe. But wait, we're not done yet. Baldoni has also filed an amended complaint, and trust me, it's a major piece of the puzzle. In this new complaint, he accuses both Blake Lively and the New York Times of a coordinated campaign to defame him. And if you think that's wild, just wait until you hear about the legal battles that are going on behind the scenes. We already know Lively and Baldoni's teams have been clashing in court, but things are getting more heated by the day. Lively even tried to silence Baldoni's lawyer with a gag order. Yeah, you heard me, a gag order. But here's the thing, her attempt was denied by the court. Now, that's a big win for Baldoni, and it just adds more fuel to the fire. If Lively can't get the gag order, what does that tell you about the strength of her case? The court's decision to shoot down the gag order only adds more weight to Baldoni's claims that there's a bigger agenda behind this whole ordeal.
I mean, when do you see the New York Times, a publication, these are supposed to be investigative journalists, when do you see them at 9:47 at night send an email on a Friday night before a holiday, right before Christmas? They send the email and it warns them that we're coming out with a story that we're going to publish by 12 noon Eastern the next day. So you basically right there have 14 hours to respond to this. If you're not looking at your email at 9:47 at night Eastern time, you might even pass that up until the morning, right? They say that they've reviewed thousands of pages of text messages. Unbelievable. And if they did, they would have come across the text messages that had emojis removed, that skewed the meaning of various emails, other emails which were taken out of context, strings which were partial email strings and partial text strings, and completely mischaracterized what was happening in the case.
And let's not forget that this legal drama isn't over yet. A court trial is set for March 9th, 2026, which means this feud is far from resolved. We're looking at a showdown that could last for years, with the stakes getting higher by the day. As if this wasn't enough, Baldoni's legal team is determined to take down the orchestrators of this supposed smear campaign once and for all. And based on what we're seeing, it looks like they've got a solid case. Alright, so we've covered the website, the New York Times metadata, and the legal battles, but let's break it down further with the timeline. This timeline is crucial because it highlights key moments that could completely change the narrative we've been hearing. First off, did you know that Blake Lively was the one who actually invited Justin Baldoni to play the lead role in It Ends With Us? Yeah, Lively herself reached out to Baldoni, but things quickly took a turn. Baldoni's timeline reveals that Lively started making script revisions that caused major production headaches, even leading to concerns about the movie's overall direction. Now, let's talk about that controversial kissing scene. Baldoni claims that Lively actually improvised the kiss, which caused all kinds of problems on set. And don't even get started on the birth scene. According to Baldoni, they had to have a closed set for that one because it was so sensitive. Why would Lively and her team go out of their way to cause so many issues? Was this all part of a bigger plan to control the movie's narrative and boost her brand? And here's where it gets even more interesting. The timeline shows that the test audiences gave significantly higher scores for Baldoni's cut of the film, but Lively wasn't having it. According to Baldoni, she and Reynolds allegedly tried to pressure him into issuing a statement taking responsibility for the negative publicity, which they claim was caused by Baldoni's actions. But what if, instead, the negative press was actually a result of Lively's decisions and marketing choices? Is she using Baldoni as a scapegoat to cover her own tracks? Now, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. If you ask Baldoni, this isn't just a case of a couple of actors not getting along. Oh no, he's framing this whole thing as a massive Hollywood power struggle. According to him, Blake Lively has been using her power to manipulate the production, marketing, and narrative of It Ends With Us, all to benefit her own brand. Baldoni believes that this isn't just about the film, it's about Lively positioning herself for a bigger role in Hollywood, including possibly securing control of a sequel. In Baldoni's eyes, Lively's actions and the smear campaign against him are part of a broader power grab. She's been using her celebrity status, her relationships with high-profile figures like Ryan Reynolds, and her influence over the media to push her own agenda. But Baldoni isn't backing down. He's ready to expose what he believes to be a coordinated effort to bring him down, and he's using everything in his power. Documents, text messages, legal findings, and even the website to do it. Is he just a victim in all this, or is there more to the story than what we're seeing? And that's the crazy truth behind Justin Baldoni's explosive website and his legal battle with Blake Lively. The whole Hollywood drama is unraveling in ways no one expected. What do you think? Is Baldoni really the victim here, or is it it just the latest chapter in a bigger Hollywood power play? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's get the conversation going. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on this jaw-dropping saga. This one's far from over, and we'll be here breaking down every shocking twist as it happens. So grab your popcorn, this story is just heating up. Stay tuned!